Hello. Welcome to our webinar. Um, this session will be recorded for the people who are not able to attend at this time, but definitely want to see the answer to our question. Feel free to address questions during the presentation, in the chat, or just note them down for our Q&A section at the end of the presentation. The idea of this webinar came from our colleague Virgil, who made a presentation at the POC Challenge in Prague this year. And the subject of artificial intelligence, specifically GenAI, raised a lot of traction and numerous questions. Based on his presentation, we tried to envision what the integration of GenAI in a larger modernization project would mean. Let's start with the introduction. My name is Mihai Nagoe, and I'm operations manager within Wayfair, with a background in software development, mainly using Progress Upon Edge and related technologies. As you probably know, we have a series of webinars related to software modernization, and I invite you to watch them as well. Together with me is Virgil, and I will let him say a couple of words on himself.
Thank you, Mihai. Hi, everyone. My name is Virgil. I'm a tech enthusiast with over 15 years of experience. I'm specializing in goal-driven strategies to deliver real impact. I had the privilege of leading exciting projects across industries like healthcare, automotive, and finance. I like to think of myself as a problem solver, except when the problem is to figure it out what to eat for lunch. That's a bug I still haven't figured it out. So.
Thank you, Virgil. Let's have a couple of words about Wayfair. We started in 2012, so we have more than 12 years of experience in delivering reliable services and solutions. Our company has grown organically to more than 100 enthusiastic team members. Throughout our journey, we've built strong and lasting partnerships, some spanning over a decade. In fact, our longest standing partnership has exceeded 10 years, reflecting the trust and value we consistently provide. We have collaborated with more than 50, I continue to say happy customers, and out of which 19 still actively engage with us in ongoing projects, highlighting our commitment to build long-term relationships. Our core technologies evolve around Progress Upon Edge and web technologies. A large number of our projects are focused on the modernization from Progress UI to web technologies. The most popular choices being Angular and React, to be more specific. We have experience in development of desktop, web, and mobile applications using different frameworks, including low-code and no-code frameworks, and in different environments. We also provide UI/UX design, support DevOps, continuous integration, continuous delivery implementations, and manual and automation testing services. We're located in Cluj-Napoca. This is the major city in Transylvania, in northwest part of Romania. As an interesting fact about Cluj-Napoca, here the Technical University of Cluj-Napoca is working to establish the Institute for Research in Artificial Intelligence, and is building more than 10,000 square meter AI Excellence Center, the largest of its kind in Eastern Europe. Agenda for today. We will start with a short recap on the modernization. Then we will dive into the GenAI subject, from what GenAI is, the benefits, tools available. Then we will have a demo on using these tools in a development environment. We will try to create a developer's hard day at work with GenAI tools available to support his activities. And in the end, we'll draw some conclusions based on our experience using these tools and check on some challenges ahead. Software modernization is the process of updating or transforming current systems to improve performance, usability, security, and maintainability. The scope is to make the current systems compatible with the modern technologies and user expectations. And most of the times, the modernization process is a strategic decision of the business to grow in the digital era. Why should the modernization start? The intended results are a combination of enhanced performance, improved security, reduced costs, better user experience, or maintaining compatibility. In our previous webinars, which I recommend you to watch on YouTube, and based on Gartner's reports, we identified three major strategies used in software modernization. The roots of software modernizations are rewrite, migrating the code to a more recent development language or version, creating a new custom solution that serve the current business needs. Replace. Sorry, one moment. Replace is better. Discarding the old system and replacing it with a new one. This option usually requires building an entirely new application ecosystem with semi-off-the-shelf components that mimic some functionalities of the existing system. Reuse. This is a partial legacy modernization, and there are more flavors to it, like replatforming, migrate to a new runtime platform, making minimal changes to the code, but not the code structure, features, or functions. Rehosting, redeploy the application component to other infrastructure, physical, virtual, or cloud, without modifying its code, features, or functions. It's like moving to a new, secure house while retaining all of your possessions. Re-architecting. Legacy applications often have a monolithic architecture that limits scalability and software performance. Thus, re-architecting to a microservice structure can provide a more adaptable solution for growth. By rebuilding the system based on a more scalable architecture, businesses can enhance functionality, improve security, and integrate modern technologies. Re-architecting is perhaps the most complex and challenging approach to partial system updates, requiring significant effort from the development team. Refactoring. Another modernization approach involves modifying legacy code without altering the overall system environment. This technique is comparable to repairing a house instead of moving to a new one. Refactoring entails making changes to the system's functionality and configuration to improve maintenance efficiency without making significant modifications. It is suitable for businesses that are generally content with their legacy software, but encounter technical issues occasionally. Encapsulation can be considered as an efficient modernization approach for legacy systems that saves both time and money. It involves making changes that apply only to the interface that connects to the existing legacy system via API without altering the code, architecture, or other critical system components. And now back to our webinar subject. Here is the Gardner model of hype cycle for AI. We just passed the peak of inflated expectations for GenAI. And now I will hand over to Virgil, who will explore the GenAI part.
Thank you, Mihai. Can you hear me? Yeah. Okay, cool. So as Mihai said, the GenAI has just passed the peak of inflated expectations, although the hype about it continues. The peak of inflated expectations is when the product usage increases, but there's still more hype than proof that the innovation can be delivered what you need. GenAI is a type of artificial intelligence that can learn from existing artifacts to generate new, realistic artifacts at scale that reflect the characteristic of the training data, but don't repeat itself. It can produce a variety of novel content, such as text, images, video, music, speech, product design, or even software code. GenAI is a short from generative AI, uses a number of techniques that continues to evolve. For it are the AI foundation models, which are trained on broad set of unlabeled data that can be used for different tasks with additional fine-tuning. Complex math and enormous computing power right now are required to create these trained models, but they are, in essence, prediction algorithms. Today, GenAI most commonly creates content in response to natural language requests. It doesn't require knowledge of writing any piece of code. In order to understand better GenAI, here are some capabilities right now. Content creation, generate content based on pattern and structure. Here we have some examples like articles, artwork, music, video, and others. NLP, understand and generate human language. Examples that where it can be used, chatbots, virtual assistants, language translation services, so software development, where it can assist in writing and debugging code, design and creativity, helps in designing products like creating marketing materials, generate fashion designs. Um, Other capabilities include data augmentation. This means generating synthetic data to augment real-world data, or other personalization, where a content specifically designed and enhanced for a specific user to increase engagement and experience. Here we can see the 6 main current trends of generative AI: comprehensive requirement gathering, where we can use tools or models from GenAI to analyze vast data set across multiple systems, from user feedback, emails, chat, and or meeting transcripts, and send them to a pre-trained domain and text-specific model. Proactive defect reduction. There are models and tools that can create comprehensive test cases, even edge cases, analyze this requirement to predict potential issues of failure or failure points, and generate specific acceptance criteria for each use case. For the automation of knowledge work, it can be used to refine of domain-specific models. We can use it also for low-code, no-code solutions, integrated with development tools, and streamlined cybersecurity. This means improvement of existing models for improving security. But what are the benefits of using GenAI in software modernization? We currently see three main areas, followed by some others. The three main areas like enhance efficiency translates into automatic code conversion, code refactoring, and improve code readability. The second one, improve code quality. Here we can use AI to detect bugs and suggest improvements, together with fixing coding issues and enforce coding standards. The result should be reduced time that developer spends on manual reviews. And the third one is a faster development cycle. This means accelerate development using AI tools. Some other areas that are beneficial in software modernization projects are legacy system documentation. Using tools like IntelliCode, which is part of Visual Studio, or Kite, can help us generate the documentation. System and data migration. There are a lot of tools. I can name only two: Amazon DB migration service or Google AutoML tables. For the user interface modernization, there are tools like Wizard and Figma with plugin AI. Automation infrastructure modernization. AI can automate environment setup, scaling, recommendation, and resource allocation. Business logic extraction and enhancement. There are tools that can analyze legacy code and identify embedded business logic. Technical debt reduction can perform in-depth code review to identify areas with technical debt and identify and eliminate duplicate code. Here there is SonarCube with SonarLint. Security and compliance modernization, another area where we can use them to analyze a legacy system for security vulnerabilities. There are tools like Sync. Improve team collaboration. Here, GitHub Copilot can be used as a virtual pair programming, offering real-time code suggestion, reviewing pull requests, or highlighting areas for improvement. And finally, for performance monitoring and optimization, we can use tools to predict system failures, identify bottlenecks, and provide real-time insight into performance of modernized systems. Okay, so practical tools for the modernization, we see currently three main areas: code refactoring, where we can use AI to analyze and refactor legacy code for automated code analysis. We have tools like Sonar or models like Deep Code. For code transformation recommendation, we have tools like Refactor.io or model like Code2Vec. Can support automated testing, implementing AI-driven testing tools to ensure quality. There are tools like Diff Blue Cover and a model like EvoSuite. And for the deployment automation, currently we can use AI for continuous integration and deployment for infrastructure as a code. There are tools like Terraform with Sentinel for policy as a code, or AI Ops for infrastructure by Mugsoft. For other tools that are available for CI/CD, there are Jenkins with Jenkins X for Kubernetes or GitLab Auto DevOps. But let's see a short demo. Okay, I will share my screen with you. Okay. I'm hoping everyone is seeing my screen.
Yep, I see it.
Okay, super. So for the demo, we want to generate a new screen. We have a demo app right now. I want to create a new screen from scratch using two tools for the backend. One tool for the backend, we will use GitHub Copilot that will generate OpenAJBL code. And for frontend, we'll use Cursor to generate a new screen in React. For this one, we want to create a new one. I will search here, add table. We have a sports 2000 DF file. I will need to do quite some steps. So we want to generate the backend. For generating the backend, I will need to go to GitHub Copilot chat, and I will need to first have a backend structure for the OpenEdge. I will use the simple OERA structure with a service interface, business entity, a data access that will have a reference to a data set and a temp table. And I will start, I would say, start with a prompt. Right now, as you see in the left-hand side, we have the GitHub Copilot chat open. I want to generate the timetable for what I already selected in the sports 2000 DF file. So I would say I will enter a prompt right now based on selection from sports 2000.df, generate a temp table for department. Right now, what's happening behind it, local context is built, sent to the global model. There are several returns from the global model. Everything it's already filtered by specific context that is sent, and we got the entire definition of the timetable for the department that I wanted. For as a next step, we want to generate an example for the data set. We already have DS customer, an example that we already have it in. We just put it as a context based on DS customer. We want to generate a definition, a dataset definition for department. I don't know if you can see it. Okay. Okay, as we see, I have the included timetable that I already generated, and the dataset definition is defined dataset for TT department. Now I want to generate the DA class. So I will just put a prompt, a simple prompt. The most simple should be quite straightforward. So there is already a customer DA, and I want based on it to generate a department DA class. Okay, now it's generating the entire model for it. So what we have here, so we have the new class generated that inherits the base data access. We have a constructor. Uh, we have the fetch all departments that will do a loop, create the temp table records. We have a fetch by ID. We have the creator department if you want to create them, an updater of the department method, and the delete department. But now this next step, so we have the data access. We want to generate the BE based on existing class, so the customer BE.cls. Here we have a fetch all, fetch by ID. We have a create customer and just run the prompt. So we need in the end to have a fetch all, fetch by ID, create customer, update, and delete. Okay, as we see, the data set is included. And we have also the methods delete, department, delete, update, create, fetch by ID, and fetch all. Now, the final part for the beginning, we want to generate a service interface class. Customer SE, we already have it. That will call the methods from the customer, from the department B. Okay, and now we have the backend part. We need to generate the front end. And for that one, we will need to go to the department class, and we need to specify the model for the UI. I just opened the temp table for the department and selected the model on the department field. I will use for this one a separate tool. This is Cursor. I will just, it works in pretty much similar way. I will enter prompt here because I want to generate everything at once. Previously, we saw I entered prompt by prompt, and now I want to generate everything in one go. So the prompt says like this: generator require changes to create a new page called department that will use all verbs from the URL for CRUD operation. Take existing customer page as an example. The department model should have these fields. These fields are important for the model. And right now, what's happening behind it is generating every change required for the front end part. So what we're seeing here, we have an SC part. We have a create department service. Here we have get department by code, get department. This will call all the departments. We have the create department method, update department, delete by code and update. Then it's gonna create the department types, the schema that we put it in the prompt that we need, department code and department name, and the creation schema. We have also their department code and department name with some validations. Then we have the fourth change that is required is the new page. So this is department page where everything is integrated and the behavior for the functions is put in place, triggered everything. So stop loading, show, set department to delete. In this example, we'll have delete operations on it. Then we have the layout of the page where we have the fields that we added. Then for the new page for the department, it's also generating the styles required. So this is the fifth change. And the next one would be the creation dialog. So we will have a create dialog for a department. The same we have, as we see here, we have everything in place. We have, okay, we have handle for the save operation. Then we have the page definition where we have the two fields. Yeah. And also the translation part is added. So everything is translated already. The final part would be to add the routing from the main application to the new page that we are adding. So this is a department route that will be included in the main routes of the application, and adding a side nav icon for it. This is part of adding the button to, so we can call it. Okay. And you see here we have some error handling generated in case we have some errors for fetch. Okay, and pretty much this is it. This is all the required changes that needs to be done. So let's see how it's looking. As you noted, I didn't do too much for it. I just put prompts. So this is the department page. I gave an example. Let me log in back, session timeout. This is the example for the customer. Here we can see I don't have translations added. I have only the placeholders. So the new page that is generated is this one. So we have this is like like a desktop window. So we have a title, departments, a search where user can can search it. Yeah, we can edit, so like consulting 100. Okay, it's saved. We can create a new one. Let's see, put here 9,000 demo 900 demo 900. Okay, we can remove it. So we also the delete operation is in place. Okay, and pretty much this was about the demo. I just used prompts to generate everything, and based on what was generated, I took the output and move it to the right files. As you saw in cursor, it's already pointing me where to put everything, and just move it there and make sure it's integrated perfectly with the others.
And we have also one question from Vim. You don't use the fill method on the dataset?
Sorry?
You don't use the fill method on the dataset.
Didn't notice.
Just to answer this one, it's a custom implementation of the backend code, and also the idea of this demo was to make sure that we can generate something that is similar with what is already existing in the application. So the department is generated based on customer, both for front end and for back end. So for someone who doesn't have a front end experience, if the project has a sufficient code base available, then the model would know to choose and create something similar with something that is already available. Yeah, and for the backend, yeah, it's the implementation. I think it's on the create, yeah, just create the data. Also, there was another, yeah, it depends on what's already available. It doesn't, let's say, invent new things. It's, well, if the code base is written in a specific way, then the generate replicates what is already available. And yeah, the model can be trained on what's in there. Maybe another question would be if we can do for the backend something similar as for the front end, like instead of generate for every file, generate I don't know everything for an entity for the backend.
Yeah, here are two things that are important. So depends how well the model is trained. So we did a training based on prompting. So we did some previous prompting for the model. But let's see. The question from you, Mihai, was if we can do all in once. Okay, let's try with
Yeah.
a new table. Let's try employee. Okay, I want everything from employee. So let's see where it ends. A really long one. Okay, I think it's here. I will just put like, now I just put a prompt based on existing selection from Sports 2000, generate all necessary changes to create a backend for employee classes. So it's already saying that from my previous prompts, he knows that I created a table, I created a data set, I created data access, I created already a business entity class, I created service interface, and now it's generating all in once. Okay, so now it's busy generating the timetable. Okay, there are a lot of fields there, and we'll go from timetable to the data set to data access, business entity, and the service interface. Okay, this is creating an employee, updating, deleting one. Okay, now it's moving further to the business entity class, fetch all employees. Okay, creating the service interface. And it's here, fetch all employees, fetch by ID, create, update employee, delete employee, and that's all. So this was one prompt that generates everything in one go.
Okay, if you want to have a new employee screen, what would be the next steps?
The first step is to define your model. So define your model is pretty simple because it's already generated now. So if I already have a TT employee, so I'll go up now. So we have a temp table. I just select what fields are required in the model because yeah, front-end is required to know what fields to display and how many to put there. I just need to copy from the temp table the fields, so the field definitions, and go to, in this case, to cursor and put the prompt, hey, I already have an endpoint for it. So like slash employee, where we have all the verbs for crude operations. We gave an example as customer or department, and put the model with the fields from progress definition, and then everything will be generated in one go.
Okay, so first you will need to publish the service for the employee to have the endpoint, the API available, and then using the model ask or prompt to generate the UI, the front
Yep.
end for employees. Okay. Okay. I think we can move on with the presentation. And if there are any questions, we can pick them up in the Q&A section.
Okay, here are tools that we used for this demo. Both tools that we use, there are two, GitHub Copilot and Cursor. Both tools are designed to make coding faster and more efficient, but cater to different stages and aspects of the coding workflow. GitHub Copilot, it is built on open AI codex model, helps by suggesting code snippets, entire functions, complete lines of code. Yeah, as a base features is code suggestion practically. Support multi-programming languages. Uh, Unfortunately, OpenEdge is not between them, but can be trained. Works in popular editors. The best that we notice is Visual Studio Code. That's the official support. Unfortunately, for Eclipse, it's not official yet. It's learned from the context. Has a natural language to code. You can write commands in plain English and Copilot translates them into code. Has a continuous learning. While Copilot was trained on a wide range of public repositories, it keeps improving with more usage and feedback. Has some limitations. Sometimes suggests incorrect and insecure code, as it doesn't fully understand the broader context of the project. And Copilot may produce code that reflects patterns from publicly available repositories. And this is why it's important to be tested before and pre-trained if it's not working or hallucinating really bad. And the other one from the front end, we used Cursor. It improves real-time coding assistant also by combining autocomplete, intelligent code navigation, debugging suggestions in a more conversational way. It is more powerful for using in complex problem solving, and its main features are conversational, similar like GitHub Copilot, but you can select the model behind it. Has autocomplete and smart suggestions. Like Copilot, it offers code autocompletions and suggestions, but with added focus on navigating and understanding larger code bases. Code understanding, Cursor can understand code and help with real-time refactoring, navigation and code optimization suggestions. Has a debugging assistance feature. It can provide debugging tips and can help identify issues in the code, making it more useful during both development and testing phase. Has an enhanced focus on complex systems. Cursor can assist with breaking down larger and more complex systems into understandable parts by providing more detailed insight and recommendation, and has also a deeper integration with IDEs. While the tool is still evolving, Cursor integrates well with various IDEs to provide an entered workflow. Has some limitations because everything that we show today is evolving really fast. Cursor is still also evolving really fast and may lack some level of maturity or language support as GitHub. The conversational aspect, while it's powerful, may not always be necessary for every type of coding task, make it more suitable for large or more intricate projects. Okay, what we noticed. So there is a mindset shift that needs to be performed. Adoption of GenAI comes with a development process change. This translates into a mind shift. While right now developers often focus heavily on writing and optimizing code, in the future, developers should focus more on proper definition and high-level architectural decisions. AI can assist with code generation, error detection, or even refactoring, allowing developers to think in broader solutions terms. For the collaboration part, now the activities are developed, code review, pull request, peers feedback. We foresee chat interfaces will become code developers that will assist in writing code with context-aware questions. Learning and feedback loops. Developers right now rely on existing or static documentation and experience for best practices. An AI tool can offer real-time contextual learning by identifying patterns from existing code base, frameworks, or languages. Feedback loops between developers and AI will continuously fine-tune the model. ensuring the most relevant recommendations are made. Um, for the tools part, IDE tools are customized manually to extensions, plugins, and configurations right now. So when we want, we just add something new. Um, in the future, there would be an adaptive IDE that can self-configure the development environment based on the project type and the developer habits. This would allow for a more adaptive workspace that evolves as developer would evolve. Um, debugging debugging right now is quite iterative, so it's also involves running the code, examining the logs, repeat the process. We foresee here that the entire debugging process will be a more interactive through conversation and can become a real dialogue between the developers and the AI. The AI could ask for questions, identify root cause, and even propose solutions in real time. And the last dimension that we noticed is the part of growth. Um, AI will act as a mentor. Through interaction, the AI can help developer upskills, often best practices, or introduce new techniques that align with industry trends or personal standards. Um, and we will speed up the learning curve for every developer.
Okay, for the implementation strategies, we saw some challenges, common challenges to integrate GenAI in the current development environment and tools. Also, the result needs to be reviewed by an experienced developer to make sure the output is correct and fitting the project with no bugs, especially for more complex code generate or for code which is very different from the existing code base. Our experience so far shows GenAI works great on simple or repetitive tasks where there are many examples that can be used. For complex tasks, we still need the developer experience in place. We see GenAI at this moment as an extra pair of hands, the nice colleague who does the next jobs, the repetitive ones, and which are not very imaginative, like the field data set question. And how to get started with using GenAI. Um, First, we see an evaluation process. Here, we recommend pairing with an experienced partner to check possible tools and solutions, because not all solutions fits all needs. Then experiment with different tools based on the initial evaluation. Try working on different tools, collaboration between innovation team and other business, tech, and security groups is crucial for refining chosen tools. Next is build an MVP or a proof of concept based on the tools and check if the ecosystem fits the development team, and then scale, implement the solution throughout the organization, make GenAI tools available, and have the tools learn from the environment. So these are the steps to integrate GenAI tools into to the modernization project. Um, Now, if there are any questions regarding the presentation, regarding the demo, so we have one. Mike, do you have an example or ABL legacy code, like TTY code with update editing or freeform ABL GUI is refactored into business entities and your React UI? Virgil?
Yeah, we didn't test that far yet. Yeah, it's in our plan to integrate it further, to investigate it further to see how far we can go with it. We didn't reach that part yet, Mike.
And I think also this is a matter of the code base. If first, or in order to use these tools, you need to create the examples or a sufficient number of examples. Then you can prompt something like, refactor that code using that example or based on that example. So we have another question. From Robert.
Yeah. In the introduction, you spoke also about low coding and no coding platforms. So what we've seen in the demo is more code-based and generate based on existing code. With no code and low code platforms, there is not that much code. Do you already have some experience in how generative AI can add to no code and low code platforms?
Well, I think they can work together actually because you can use GenAI together with a low-code, no-code platform. We don't, or our demo wasn't focused on that part. But if you already have something in place that uh, that is in use, then you can use the GenAI part to help you with generating the parts or the tasks that are copy paste or similar in your project. Virgil, if you want to add something on that.
Yeah, I would here one thing. So using a low-code, no-code solution. So if you have enough, as Mihai said, so if you're using a GenAI tool with a low-code, no-code solution, you need to have enough models first. So you need to have enough samples and have several prompts before in order to get the right result. So everything is live and as based on you refine your model and your prompting style, then you get the right result.
Yeah, for me, it's a bit hard to imagine because we are using a low coding platform. And of course, all the boilerplate, the CRUD operations are already there. You define a model. If you define a new table, you have usually automatically all the CRUD operations and all the search already available. So I'm just trying to place where this can be an addition to such a platform.
Maybe you can think on the customizations that you already make or already made on the platform. So I would assume that your platform generates 80% of the code that you need. Then you have the
Well, it
other
doesn't generate
50 to
code, so
80%.
that's a bit of a that's a bit of a problem.
Okay.
So it works from the model, so it's not a code generating platform.
Okay, so it's a no code type of platform.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, in this
Okay,
case,
but maybe it's something to also for me to think about how it could be used.
maybe something we can pick up in our next webinar.
Well,
Yeah,
who knows? Who knows?
we can do that. But Robert, it's really interesting because this is one of the issues right now. So there are a lot of tools available on the market, and one of the questions that's really hard to answer is, hey, how can I fit this tool into my existing application that is running, that I'm modernizing it? So how for example, how ChatGPT can support me in my operations now? So it's a question that really need a specific use case.
Mm. Yeah. I have maybe another question. It's more general. Is so there are a lot of advantages, of course, but the question is when you generate a lot of code and especially for new developers or young developers, not young developers, let's call it new developers. There was something about gain of skill, increased speed of gain of skill. But if you don't program yourself, I think it's more difficult to learn what is happening than when you do something yourself. So the question is more like, is there not also a part of not gaining skill by having generative AI generating the code for you? So if you want to do some maintenance, so something is generated, it's deployed, it's tested, and someone finds a bug, and the junior developer has to figure out, okay, where can I find it? But it's all generated, so I don't know how it's actually made. So how do you acquire the knowledge, that basic knowledge in how an application is constructed?
Yeah, I think I have a small grasp of your question. So what we noticed is the juniors tends to copy paste stuff. So like, hey, generate me this, is generated, copy paste in the application. So for them, it's easier to generate stuff. So we use a tool to generate it. But also on the chain, there is someone with more knowledge in the project, then has to review what's been there. It can be a tool, but usually right now there is someone with more seniority and can review um, what's committed by the junior one. There are tools that helps debugging into a more conversational way. So everyone can use, hey, this is my application, this is my context. I want to describe the problem that is not working, and the tool will generate you, hey, problem is from here. In order to have the right expected result, you have to make these kind of changes. But we encountered um, an opportunity here because if we start using these tools, everyone first thing will think, hey, I just copy paste what's generated without rationalize what is behind it. So you need first to understand what you are doing, to understand better your architecture, to understand how everything is connected, to make sure that what's generated is fitted well into your application and not crash everything, introduce security issues, and other stuff like that.
And maybe to put it in short, at the moment, GenAI would not replace experience, and definitely you need to understand what's in there. So it's good to have say a start, a jump start to be able to generate code, do something similar. But formal training, yeah, for junior developers is still needed at the moment. I don't know if that would evolve in time, but yeah, it's yeah, the programmer job is not out of the way yet.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, thank you for the questions, Robert.
Okay.
Maybe another question that I received. Can you give multiple screen for input prompt? Something like based on customer and department generate order?
Based on, okay, so to have multiple points, yeah, you can, but you need to refine the result. So it will try to merge two things together, and then you need to refine it also. So for example, for the backend part, we refined it initially out of the box. It didn't generate something usable. The code didn't compile. Nothing was working, and then we start, hey, we need to try to figure it out some way how to tell this tool to help us develop faster. And then we discover that if we refine the prompts, we enter the next prompt and we start increasing the rating of the result. So like, hey, you didn't generate what's required. I need this from here, from order, from customer. And put them together. If I'm going to a prompt more generic, then the result will be not what I need. So for prompting, there is specific, a prompt should be specific. So it should be specific, short enough, concise. You need to know what you want the result to look like. So you can, to answer your question, Mihai, you can put them together, but you need to enter to define the result then further.
Okay, and there's another question here. Can the model learn from previous mistakes?
Yeah, most of the model have a rating system based on the result that you returned, and that depends on the acceptance of the user that is prompting. So if you use specific keywords like, hey, this is better, this is what I want, this is not what I want, this is wrong. These are, you see, there's positive and negative, and will increase or decrease the rating of the result. So as I'm building more prompts, then the results, and I approve them, move them up or lower, then when I'm exporting my prompt to another workstation, then the result will be a better, are already defined by me.
Okay, thank you, Virgil. Are there any other questions? Because I see we're getting close to our timeline. No? Well, I do hope the information we presented in this webinar was useful and it answered some of your questions. If you have any other questions related to the concept or on the demo, feel free to contact us by mail, webpage, or social media. Thank you for joining our webinar and see you on our next webinar. Have a great day.
Thank you. Bye-bye.